One thing I appreciate in Ninjago Dragons Rising is the theme of embracing change, and that theme is best exemplified by none other than Arin. Arin is entirely different to other main characters we've had in the show. He's not got any outstanding skills or an elemental power. He's armed with nothing but a grappling hook, unstable self-taught spinjitzu, and a dream. And that's what makes me love him so much. He's the closest thing we have to a normal person on the ninja team. Arin is basically the ultimate underdog. He has to fight against opponents that even the ninja struggle to beat. But he also has the potential to be one of the greatest of the ninja. His tenacity and dedication to teach himself spinjitzu, with no aid at all, is already really impressive. I like to think that part of his character was inspired by the idea of self-taught artists. Not everyone is going to have the resources or a teacher to aid them when they're trying to learn something they're passionate about. So they have to teach themselves, and sometimes they screw up because of that. In the past, Ninjago has had this problem of repeating the sentiment that you don't need powers to be a hero. But in almost every instance, this theme gets undercut, as characters will end up regaining powers after losing them without any real long-term consequences for that. This ends up muddying a perfectly good message, and ends up making the show seem unintentionally a bit hypocritical and rather non-committal to the idea of change and of having a powerless hero. But Arin has the chance to really change that. There's no better character to embody the theme that you don't need powers to be special. I think that acknowledging this previously confused messaging and showing just how difficult it is to be a hero without powers is a fantastic bit of maturation for Ninjago's writing. Because Arin always struggles to reach the lofty expectations put onto him. Almost every time we have seen him fight so far, he either loses, wins by luck, or requires help from others to win. He struggles massively with measuring up to those around him, which is why I think his false victory in Rising Dragon, being based on a lie and Sora using her abilities, is going to shatter what little confidence he does have. Throughout Season 2 Part 1, we've seen Arin mention time and time again that he would do anything for an elemental power. I wouldn't be surprised if Arin's arc involves him getting power at a great cost before later regretting it. The Gong of Shattering is the obvious choice for how Arin could get immense power, but at the cost of shattering his own goodness. What exactly the Gong would do to a character like Arin isn't known, but I think that Arin either temporarily getting Shatter Spin or an elemental power from one of the Forbidden Five is also a possibility. Either way, I'm imagining an almost Faustian deal with the devil for Arin to get this power before then realizing he never needed that power to be special. One thing I want to mention about the idea of Arin getting an elemental power is that I wouldn't want it to be permanent. The writers have included this character with no supernatural abilities, and I think that's a massive step forward in the show's writing. It does so much to inform the themes related to both Arin and the theme of change and feeling powerless. I think that Arin's journey of self-improvement being this hard road with many failures is a key part of what makes him such an interesting character to me. I think that him having to betray his values and friends to get the power he wants is a really juicy plot idea, but if the story does go in this direction, it should be made clear that this is a shortcut, and it shouldn't go unpunished. I really feel like there's a lot of different direction that Arin's story could end up going in because of his struggle with self-worth. But there's another aspect to Arin's normality which I'd love to discuss. and that is his relationship to Lord Ras. On the surface, Ras and Arin couldn't be more different. Ras is a master manipulator. He's aggressive and values strength and victory above all else. And then there's Arin, who's kind-hearted, cheerful, and generally a much nicer guy than Ras. However, Ras puts this immense expectation onto other people. Meanwhile, Arin puts those immense expectations onto himself. He constantly belittles his own abilities and undervalues his place on the ninja team. The 3 major times that Arin and Ras have fought so far, Arin has lost every single encounter. I think that Ras and Arin's fight in the Forest of Spirits will become one of the most important moments in both of their arcs. Arin's defeat here continues to emphasize the gulf between his and Ras's levels of strength, but also acts as a way for Ras to sow some seeds of doubt about the ninja's teaching methods. Unlike previous times where Ras has manipulated people, I think that this fight shows Arin some of Ras's true colours. Ras sees a lot of his past self in Arin, this weak and powerless person who needs to be taught how to be strong and how to value strength. He belittles this person who is so much like the past version of himself. Perhaps, if circumstances change enough, the person to teach Arin will be Ras. Ras has managed to become one of the most formidable antagonists within the entire series, through using his plans, strength, and force of will. I think it would be really interesting for both characters to end up trying to teach one another something. It would be an entirely new dynamic for this show, and I would love to see these two explored more as a duo. I don't think that Arin will become an outright villainous character, but I think that his potential could be used for great or terrible things, depending on how he's taught and trained in the future. Many thanks for watching.